This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm here with Bruce, Sam and Emily, and we're here to speak about the Sommelier Factory. Bruce, I'll start off with you. Where did the Sommelier Factory come from? What was its inspiration and how long ago did it begin?
Well, initially we started out more as a study group. We had a couple people going for their MS and some training for the world competitions. So we did some fairly serious study, and we sort of morphed into a training group for sommeliers that were looking to get certified. And at the time I was teaching a little bit for CABS, a great organization, but I wanted to do something a little bit more intimate. Something where the numbers were strictly limited and you could really relate to everybody that was sitting at the table. And that's how Sommelier Factory eventually came to be.
And Emily and Sam, how did you become involved?
I, like many, actually started out taking courses through Bruce at Sommelier Factory. And then I reached out to Bruce looking for some help with placement somewhere. And he just asked if I wanted to help out assembling that textbook we have for the certified program. So I started with that, and then kind of organically from there started teaching a little bit there and helping out. So
I see. And Emily?
I also began by taking some courses with Bruce, and relatively new to the team, about a month in, and I guess we're at a point where growing and needing a little bit of help with some intro courses, so that's where I came in.
Fantastic. And Bruce, how would you say the Sommelier Factory has evolved since its early days?
Well, I mean, even if I don't take it from the early days, if I take it from the first time we tried to put together a structured program that sort of covered all the world of wine, or attempted to at the very least, we limited our class to 3 people. It was just one class. I mean, at the time, I was still working as a sommelier on the floor because that wasn't paying any bills. In fact, it was costing more than it was bringing in, and that became though the basis of that book and of our certified program. So each time we do a program, it becomes a little bit tighter, maybe a little bit more concise. I think we were reaching students from the start, but now we're providing them with a little bit more material as well. I guess we're a little bit cleaner and more professional.
yeah.
Get drunk a little bit less.
What kind of students do you end up having?
We see a lot of industry, because a lot of probably the majority of our students want to go down that path of becoming certified as a sommelier. So yeah, that interest is mostly within industry people, and then some people who are switching industries, who have had a previous career, and then they think that wine will be a whole lot of fun to get into, so they join us and also get certified. We do have some students come in just for personal interest, but the truth is that's a minority of the students we have. We're very open to civilians joining us, but we just don't know that many civilians. So we have a lot of industry and people coming into the industry.
One thing I found fascinating about the Sommelier Factory was the actual wines that your students were able to taste. I studied with the WSET, their diploma course in Glasgow, around about 20 years ago. And we were very lucky at that time because many of the older members of the WSET, people who really supported it, had bequeathed their cellars to the organization.
Awesome, cool.
Therefore, we got to taste, when we did Bordeaux, we actually got to taste first growths, which was kind of super. And I found through my investigations, many sommelier courses and WSET courses, the quality of the products that they're tasting is perhaps not up to that kind of standard, but I've heard marvelous things about the wines that you serve at the Sommelier Factory.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. That's the big difference, right? Like, we work out of a restaurant called Thoroughbred Food and Drink, and we take their dining room for the most part. Actually, we have a separate floor dedicated to us there, but we find the dining room more comfortable, so we're usually in there. But our overhead is minimal, right? We don't have a huge building.
Right.
For our administration, well, our admin is sitting here, right? Like that's it. It's just us. So our costs aren't massive, except for wine. Our wine costs are massive.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the money should go, right? We're also not paying, for example, WSET head office in London, right?
Of course, yes.
We're making our own material, so we don't have that cost either, right? So we're all wine geeks, so we thought let's put the money where we think it should go, and that's to some of the greatest wines in the world, right? So it's nice that you heard that was the case.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Because we're certainly, my wife has also heard that's the case.
Emily, what would you say your favourite thing was about the Sommelier Factory? What's the thing that has really fired you up and got you excited about the Sommelier Factory?
Beyond working with these two all the time, definitely the students.
Mm-hmm.
This last group that I got to know only for a short period of time before they wrote their certification are just some of the greatest students I've ever had a chance to get to know. Really, really knowledgeable and really driven, and I don't know, as an intern it drives you, and so that was really amazing.
And for you, Sam?
Probably the culture of Sommelier Factory. I think that more and more as time passes and the greater presence that Sommelier Factory has, like there's so much community with the people that have taken courses in the past, and it's a pretty small industry, right? So you see the same people over and over and over again, but a lot of them have that common thread, and there's so many great people in the industry, so probably that.
How do you feel the Sommelier Factory has integrated itself into the Toronto sommelier community as a whole?
Well, like Sam says, it's a relatively small community, right? It's a pretty tight community. So we really feel like an active part of it, and hopefully a contributing part of it. But we came along at a great time. We came along at a time where sommeliers in Toronto were kind of finding their identity. We're starting to become something. Previously, it was more something you heard of than you actually ever witnessed. So as that growth happened, as that explosion happened, then we got to be there for that. So it's an exciting time for us, right? It's an exciting time. We're lucky to be here at this time. And like these guys say, the students that come through our doors it's fantastic. You go to restaurants afterwards and you see these same students, and they always come back. It's funny, we were talking about Max. Max was a student from 3 courses ago and just returned back to town and came right to see us, and we sat around drinking coffee in Amaro yesterday, and it was just brilliant. And people just stopped in. And, Mark stopped in as well, and Sam, and it becomes a meeting place as well. So that was kind of my hope, is that it would be at the center of activity for this now vibrant sommelier community, and it seems to be playing a part.
And if people were interested in finding out more about your courses and the Sommelier Factory as a whole, where would they be going?
The website's the best. sommfactory.com. SOMMfactory.com.
Sommfactory.com.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much to the 3 of you for joining us today, and we look forward to catching up with you very soon. We're just about to have some champagne, I think.
Oh, sorry. We already started.
Fantastic. Bye for now.